Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Persistence and progression is currently what Star Citizen's persistent universe lacks. It's a major core feature that the game needs before it can be considered any form of MMO or by many other gamers worth playing. There's no point in constantly playing the game if you're going to be reset every month or so, and buying a ship takes like almost a month, 2 months, 3 months before you can save up enough to get the ship you want, and then bam, that progression is gone. I have seen a lot of confusion and questions about persistence, platform persistence, permanent progression and resets, and when this is coming, what's coming with it, what does it allow for, and I thought a video would be useful here. Currently in Star Citizen, progression is reset at least every 3 months with each major patch, and some minor ones, so some of the 3.x.x patches, they will also reset progress. So your progression being the Alpha UEC, so your in-game credits that you've earned, purchases in-game that you've made with those credits, mission logs, reputation, ship status, your current location, even your character data is purged and you have to remake a new character with each of these resets. One of the reasons for all this is due to the way CIG store data currently and the databases that they have. So they constantly have sort of like new iterations and changes to core tech and the back end of the game. With their current P cache, they can only really deal with a small amount of data and players all at once. It's sort of like not really appropriate for the game being an MMO and having permanent progression yet. Platform persistence is the first stage of persistence for the persistent universe, and it's planned to be coming in the 3.8 patch cycle, but not with the initial release of 3.8. So 3.8 is currently out. We don't have it yet. Platform persistence will be coming in 3.8.x at some time in 2020. Platform persistence allows CIG to more readily store and transfer database information, which means in terms for the game that some information can be saved between patches. More specifically, this will see Alpha UEC balance and Alpha UEC purchases made in-game, like ships, components, items, all of that sort of stuff saved, even potentially cargo that you've got on your ships potentially could be saved, although that might be more full persistences thing. So this will give you actual progression. However, you will still see database wipes and resets, just more rarely. There are still many major issues though. Servers are still going to be volatile, so when a server crashes or you log off, the server hasn't saved any data and the server is basically reloaded fresh and new. When you join a server, you're almost certainly going to be on a new server, or, I mean, not the server you were originally on. If you had logged out in a bed, yeah, you are likely to respawn where you logged off. This is more sort of faked kind of persistence though, really. Just sort of like saving your location when you logged out so you can log back in the same place. You're not going to be on the same server or anything. The crash recovery system as well just tries to grab as much data as it can when you crash so that you can hopefully be put back on the same server where you were, although there are obviously problems with that. Full persistence is the next sort of major step towards the permanent progression gameplay that we want, and is planned for mid to late 2020 full persistence. So the major back-end part of full persistence is something known as the iCache, which you will be hearing a lot about through 2020. It provides an indexing and query system that can be utilized by other services for specific and complex item queries. It will be able to save data even of small objects between sessions and servers, but obviously large objects and where ships are, where NPCs are, where missions are. You could potentially hide a weapons cache under a rock on a random planet and then literally go back a few days or a week later and grab those items. Items will have a level of importance, though. They will degrade. They can be removed by the server. So, you know, bits like trash thrown on the floor, shell casings, certain items like that food that you've knocked over will be cleaned up by the server. And there might be like NPCs walking around also doing cleaning jobs and that sort of stuff, but that's more to represent the fact that the server is also cleaning that stuff up. It's not important to the server to save certain items. If it's a ship, if it's an item, if it's a weapon, if it's something that players interact with, then it's much more likely to be saved for a longer period of time, months, potentially even permanently, compared to something that is not important. This update also will have a robust database system and means that progression and player information can be saved between major patches, and not just Alpha UEC, ships and items, but also things like server information with locations, mission progress, reputation, criminal rating, character data. You could log back on where you logged off even after a major patch and have the same character with all of the ships and Alpha UEC that you would previously accrued in-game. One of the other things this solves is server volatility and sort of like handing off data between other servers. So server data can be saved, and then when a server goes down or crashes or moves over to a new patch, it can sort of like have that there still. It doesn't instantly get like lost. It has backups, it has redundancy. It also means that data can be passed on to a new server, which is obviously a prerequisite of server meshing as well, which requires the seamless movement and data transfers between servers, as well as that redundancy as well. So you would have a whole planet being run by a single server now. Although resets may still take place though, even with this stage of full persistence. This could be due to database and game issues, or because CIG wants to test something, and obviously when the game goes into like new major phases like beta and live release, they will probably want to do resets as well, at least for some parts of the game. So what does full persistence allow for? It's the prerequisite to a lot of content and opens the floodgates to a true dynamic economy being the main one for me. We should start to see bits of the economy coming together and dynamic economy elements and quanta and sort of like big simulation happening with the game over the next few months, but we need progression and data to constantly be saved and shared between all the servers for that data to permanently change the gamescape, so that economy data, that simulation data will affect every part of the game permanently with its simulation. So what NPCs are spawning where, while they're spawning there, what are the name of the pirate guy that you just killed is no longer in the game because you killed him. All missions should be appropriate for the changing elements and needs of the verse, and missions are only going to be generated based on the economy needs and what's happening in the game world at that time. We will see parts of this sort of like expanded simulation in game before full persistence with the dynamic economy and with dynamic missions, but it's not going to be in its true state until after full persistence, or at least requires full persistence to be in a significantly better state. This will also see better tracking of resources on planets and asteroids, expanding out points of interest to allow for new locations and like new asteroid fields, pirate bases to be discovered, and then those locations persist beyond the current session. So once pirates have set up a base somewhere, that should be able to be seen and visited and attacked or interacted by the whole game world, and that pirate base should also affect all the other elements of the economy and bits and bobs of the area that it's in. One of the other things that this potentially allows for is the persistent saving of locational data. At the moment, Star Citizen doesn't have a way to save locations that are sort of private to you. If you find the location of a cave, if you want to go to a particular point on an asteroid field, you have to sort of like travel there in an odd way sometimes, but in the future you will be able to save locations and you'll be able to travel there. Now, full persistence may allow for that to be handled better, and for that locational data, once you've saved it, to be permanently saved on your account, if you see what I mean. There's also the potential we could see personal hangars and habs, so your own fully personalized hab and hangars that you can rent and buy, and even land claim gameplay once full persistence is in. I wouldn't expect sort of like base building at this stage, although it is certainly a prerequisite of base building. The land claim gameplay that I'm really talking about is probably like the surveying of land, the placing of a land claim, and then like law system protecting that land from other people exploiting resources there or being on that land if you don't want them there, that sort of stuff. So there might be some gameplay, there might be some interesting stuff you can do there, but it's not going to be the full sort of like base building mechanics there yet. Some of this is certainly tied more to server meshing, but server meshing as well is one of the features that requires full persistence, and it's going to allow the seamless transfer of data between servers and for the server data to be saved, which is what server meshing needs. This is also potentially has CIG increasing server caps, and with fully fledged dynamic server meshing, potentially everyone being on the same mega server, although they might have to artificially sort of restrict access to certain areas, maybe by like, you know, increasing taxes on goods there, or making house prices very expensive, or by having warp storms on some of the sort of like jump points, that sort of stuff. So when will we have permanent progression? So permanent progression is actually expected before Star Citizen is technically fully feature complete, and will basically be heralded by the switch to UEC from Alpha UEC. Alpha UEC is the currency in game used during the alpha, but UEC is the currency tracked by the website that people could literally buy. So once that's been permanently tracked on your account, then we're basically live. When the persistent universe starts using UEC, basically we have permanent progression without resets, at least when it comes to your financials in-game. I would not expect the move over from Alpha UEC in 2020 or even in 2021. We'll have to wait and see when CIG are more prepared to do that. but we'll see it on the roadmap, and we'll see it when CIG start discussing this in a bit more detail. Sort of like 2020 is the year of potentially them getting most of the static server meshing done, so you probably see that early 2021, but you'll see new jump points, you'll see a new star system in 2020, you'll see full persistence to some degree, platform persistence as well. Is the game then considered live or released when we have permanent progression? Well, I think that's going to be based on how complete other features are by then. I think realistically, you should consider it less in terms of hardline definitions like that. Permanent progression kind of means the game is live, but we won't see a feature-complete beta for Star Citizen for quite some time. And then even after that, CIG want to build 100 star systems, because well, once they sort of like consider it live or released, it will probably only have like, 20 or 30 systems, my estimation is anyway. They're going to want to add these systems until they have at least 100, and they also are going to want to add more ships and more features beyond what we already have for 10 plus years. All of this stuff, persistence, full persistence, platform persistence, permanent progression, all incredibly important to Star Citizen. I mean, and it's all working towards permanent progression and everyone on the same server or same shard, same mega server, whatever you want to call it. But I'm interested to know what you think. When do you think we'll see permanent progression in the game as sort of like a live, they get no more resets version of the game? Do you think that will be in like 2022, or do you think it'll be much further out? Do you think it'll be like 2025 or something? Are you excited by the fact that in 2020 we might start to see very few resets in the game and actually be able to earn ships and play Star Citizen a lot more freely than we were able to before without so much of a constant 3-month grind? Do you think this form of persistence and progression will open the floodgates to Star Citizen, making it much more playable to the mainstream? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway for December, and to celebrate 2019, we are giving away a Carrack, the Mighty Explorer ship. It does also come with that Pisces and the Urza Rover 2. To be in for a chance of winning that, all you need to do is comment on any of my videos made during this month of December. Only one of your comments counts per video. Full details down below. A quick bit of shilling as well. Shadow provide remote access to high-spec gaming PCs as a subscription service, so you don't need to maintain your own gaming PC. You can leverage the power of your internet to turn your phone, tablet, laptop, or home PC into a monster. They are taking pre-orders for their new hardware configurations, scaling for 4K gaming, up to 32 gigs of RAM, and a GeForce Titan RTX, which I am very much looking forward to playing Star Citizen on. Links below, and use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. There is also an additional offer if you are in the US as well, that you get basically 50% off, and you can even use my BoredGamer code on top of that as well for additional discount. I also use NordVPN, which I've decided to continue to support, as they appear to have one of the best VPN services currently available at an affordable price. If you're looking for a VPN, consider them. Links below. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. If you would like to share my video, comment, subscribe, like, all that sort of jazz, ring the bell, that all helps content creators. Also, if you want to further support the channel even more, there's Patreon, there's direct donation, there's the YouTube join button as well, which gives you access to some more sort of like exclusive content from me. Thank you very much for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse.